Hello, welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday today. I'll just get inside the van. There we go. Less windier here. I've just been setting up that loading shovel. It's a demonstrator from Devellon. This quarry here is having a go with it for a few days, see what they think of it. They're also going to demonstrate a Volvo and a case shovel, so we'll see which way that goes, no doubt. Yeah, it should be good demonstration that, because that's the 420 CVT, so it should be really good on diesel, which is important, isn't it, these days? And also the operator likes it. Half the fight with any sort of machine sale is the man sat on the seat, whether he likes it or not. So there's a few boxes ticked there already, hopefully. I've just been showing him around it, how to set up the boom leveling, return to dig, things like that. So we'll see how that goes. And just as I was going to get back in the van, I'm just going to show you. I've just realised where I am. So that hillside over there is where I put that travel motor on that 160 with the timber harvesting head. Right away up on that hillside over there. That's the track that I went up in the back of the Land Rover, all the way up onto there. There's the lay-by down there where I parked my van. It's a different day up here today than it was when I was last up here. Gotta remember that day, that was a cold day. Anyway, I'm gonna head back down to Carlisle. There's a little micro digger sat in the yard, hopefully. It's got an oil leak on it. The customer reckons it's got a burst pipe, so we'll go and get a look at that. But it's a good 2 hours 20 minutes to get up here, so it'll be early afternoon before I'm back down the road. So yesterday afternoon I got back to the yard, and then I got waylaid with other things that didn't allow me to get on with this Bobcat micro digger. So the customer's brought it in with an oil leak, and I just had a quick glance around it. I was going to show you, like, case what to do when you get dropped a machine in the yard. And anyway, the fault is very, very apparent. That isn't attached to there, so that goes through there and into the turret. So all I need to do is lift the machine up on itself and then put some blocks of wood under and try and get this thing out. That'll be fun, won't it? Yeah, what can I tell you about Bobcats? So this Bobcat, the Bobcats and the Doosan, so the micro diggers, mini diggers up to 8.5 ton, they're all, or they were all, our Doosan machines were just Bobcats painted orange, basically. But the Bobcats would always be a sort of slightly higher spec machine. So the DX10 version of this, the Doosan, would just have a key switch, and whereas this one's got a keypad to start, so it's keyless essentially. And another thing is the Bobcat has got a switch to change between the blade and track expansion, whereas the Doosan has a manual changeover valve. So that kind of differentiates the Bobcat to the Doosan. And then same with the sort of bigger machines, the 27s, the spec on the Bobcat 27 is higher than the Doosan 27. The Doosan 27 has a cable throttle linkage, so that doesn't let you have auto idle because you're manually using a cable to rev the engine, whereas the Bobcat has a rack actuator, so that has auto idle, and other little bits and pieces like that. So depending on what spec you want out of a machine, depends on whether you go for a white one or an orange one, although I think you can spec the orange one up to the white one, but it'd probably work out dearer. I don't know, it really doesn't matter either, does it? So I need to get underneath this machine, which will be lovely. Get the pipe off, go and get a pipe made, put the pipe on, knock that job on the head, and then I'm going to go to the tyre spot. Anthony quite rightly pointed out in the comments that what I need to do is get that wheel fitted to the right hand side, take that right hand side wheel and use that as a spare, and get a new tyre put on the flat, and then I only have to get one tyre because then I'll have 2 brand new tyres on the back. Simple. I was thinking, oh god, I'm going to need 2 tyres, but there we go. I'll have a spare tyre which will have a part 1 tread, which won't be a bad thing with it. So save a few pennies, not just coming out of my pocket, but you do have to what's the word? Don't know what the word is. My brain hasn't woken up yet this morning. So I'll try and get that pipe ratched off that digger. Go and get some blocks of wood to sit it on. I've got the machine on blocks. I've let the machine down onto the blocks. I'm not going to stick my head under there, but I can lie on the ground now, take that belly plate off, and get the pipe out. Shouldn't be too bad. Are they 14s or 15s? I never know with these whether it's going to be a 14 or a 15. Get the impact going on in the job. So that's the pipe there. Goes up there. I actually don't know how I'm going to get that off. That is a shocker. I thought it'd go somewhere onto the bottom of here somewhere. This is the rotary coupling, so this is what transfers the oil downstairs, if you will. So this bit's stationary, and the bit at the top's stationary, and it swivels inside and transfers the oil down through the centre. Gosh, that's not nice, that. I just don't know how I'm gonna get that off. Oof. This might be a bigger job than I expected it to be. I thought 20 minutes we'll get this pipe off and go and get a new one, put it back on, be done within the hour. Okay, let's come up with a plan. Okay, so I just wondered whether there was a bit more space at the top, and there is. I've taken the pipe off, and it is, I'll zoom in. That pipe there, I need to loosen. How in creation. There's a pipe above it, which is equally hard to try and get a spanner onto. It's that parsnip there that I need to get. It looks handy down there, doesn't it? Look, zoom in. Oh, that looks easy enough. Zoom out. Yep. Like even a crow's foot I don't think I'd get on, because there's a plate down there. See this plate here? I'll zoom into the plate. That plate there is bang on in line with that nut. I mean, it's one thing taking it off as well, it's getting the bloody thing back on. That is not nice. Don't know if you remember, but once upon a time I found a Mac Tools 19mm spanner on a road one day. It is now a sacrificial Mac Tools spanner. To even get this little bugger in. I hope. Well, I've got it cracked off. Wasn't really that tight in the first place, and something tells me when I look at this pipe, this would be an original, and the other pipe's got that spiral wrap around it, which tells me it isn't original, which tells me somebody else has had the same battle as me and won. So if someone else can do it, surely I can do it. Just sacrifice a £20 spanner, no problems there. Well, it's one thing getting it out, isn't it? it's putting it back in there. That'll be when the fight really starts. Not looking forward to that. Right, let's chuck this in the van. Jig 9/16, 9/16, something like that, innit? I don't know my jigs, but there we go. Go and get a fresh one of them done. Get them to spiral wrap it, save me a job. So, game plan, go and drop that off, let them make that. While they're making that, I mean, they're fairly quick where I take them to, like, but while they're making that, I'll nip around the corner, get that tyre sorted out. Come back here, put the pipe on that, knock that job on the head, and then go to the other side of town. I need like a little micro switch. Customer I'm doing a job for. Long story short, we put his blade and his rotate function through a switch on the dash, which would be here on a 14 tonner, and he'd like it mounted in the back of the joystick. So I've taken the back of the joystick off a machine that I've got in the yard, and I want a little micro switch, latch-in micro switch to go in there. So I need to go to Cumbria Autos and see if they've got out for us to go to that next week. Yes, I'll do that on my way to a 225 with a suspected injector fault. Cumbria tyres. These boys are so helpful, friendly. I've always got my tyres off them ever since I started driving. Just nice family firm. So he's going to get us a tyre for Monday, and yeah, he said we'll put the put the spare tyre on the right hand side of the van, build a tyre for the left hand side of the van, and use the right hand side tyre that I've got on currently as a spare. It's just nice dealing with friendly folk, isn't it? Right, go back and get that pipe now, put it on that digger, and then head out for the day. There we go, another good spot to deal with, Apex Fluid Power in Carlisle. So I left the pipe with them and says, oh, I'm going to go sort my flat tyre out, I'll be back in an hour or so, there's no panic. Anyway, I'm back here 20 minutes later, and pipe was waiting for us on the front counter. Just people doing their jobs. It's good, isn't it? Right, I'll go and get this pipe fitted. We're only 11:30. I've been, like I say, I've been late getting a start this morning, just sorting out some admin pieces and things like that. Whew. So I'll go back across the road now and put this pipe on. So the key to this will be patience, lots and lots of patience, which I am feeling patient at the moment. The worst bit will be getting this threaded on to the fitting and then tightened. So I'm going to do that first, and I'll have the pipe down the way. Hopefully I can get it on a few threads, and what you can do, if you're lucky, is just spin the pipe and the whole fitting turns to run it up, because you really can't get a finger on to run that nut up. So as much as I can, I want to get this fitting run right up as far as I can before I then start sort of getting it turned a flat at a time with a spanner. So hopefully in the next clip now you'll see the pipe fitted and I'm nipping it up. There we are, a couple more adjustments with the old, we'll call this the Bobcat device. Only ever used on Bobcats, hard to reach places. Just shaved a bit off the shoulders, look. And that has enabled me to get that probably tighter than it was, because I mean it was just fingertip tight with the spanner on it to get it loosened. So I managed to get in there, and then oh, it's tight. Like, I definitely think that is tight. I'm going to put that pipe back on that I've taken off to access it before I forget, and then I'll finish routing it through, do the easy bit. And all this bodywork, I hate putting this bodywork back together. Do you know that? I've ever mentioned how much I hate putting this back together. There's about 24 bolts that hold it all together, look. An Apache helicopter up there, look. Wonder where he's up to. Anyway, I'm just tightening this lot up. Hey man, when you think of being a plant mechanic, you don't think about working in tight spaces like that, do you? Let's get the big spanner on the job. Where's it gone? Dee-dee-dee. Right, so I reckon that pipe down there will be tight enough, look, because I only got another flat on that one. Definitely tighter than it was anyway, and it wasn't leaking, so I'm pretty confident. Another thing I've noticed, look, that's the suction pipe. Oh, it's coming out to get us. It's coming out to get us, look. Maybe not an Apache. Just another day in Carlisle. Carlisle's fairly quiet and timid like compared to some spots you hear about. Maybe got lost. Got lost on the way to Whitehaven. Right. There we go. Fix that bit. Right. Let's route this pipe through and onto there. I'm just working it now, making sure I've got no leaks at this end, but more importantly, down there. But it looks okay. I'm not seeing anything. Which is good, that's what we want to see. Right, we'll get this belly plate rattled on. Okay, so I've just topped up the oil on the glass now. Check it with the arm stretched out, look. That's the job complete. Wonderful. When I looked at that a couple of hours ago, I thought that's gonna be fun. But it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. Put all my tools away and we'll head out west. Good. Just been on the Mac Tools van, look. What was I going to tell you? I've left my van door up and it started raining, so I'm a bit upset. Yeah, I found, well, I wanted to replace this screwdriver-y bit. I've got one of them replaced. It's one of them, you just sort of start looking. I used to have a pair of pliers like this with the 45, whatever you want to call that. And they were so handy for doing things. And I only went on for that. And let's see, that's a draper bit. I thought it was a tool bit. Anyway, that will do me grand. Yeah, so spotted them. So I've tripped myself. I'll maybe keep that and grind it flat, and that might come in handy. You never know. God, yeah, you could very quickly spend a fortune. Like you could. I should have probably bought a set of screwdrivers, and there's probably a lot of things I probably should have bought. No reason not to either. Look at that rain now. At least I've got that digger done. Okay, I'm gonna go and have some lunch. There we go. That's Monday's little job sorted out. Cumbria Autos never lets you down. Never lets you down. So I've got a switch to go in the back of the joystick handle, and that's going to change over between the rotate lines and the dozer blade to make it a bit more natural, because at the moment he's taking his hand off the joystick to flick a switch. But we'll talk about that more on Monday. We go up there to do that job. Okay, I'm going to head out west, hopefully avoid a load of showers, and have a look at a Reiki 225. First thing I'm going to do is just check engine oil level and bits like that before I start it. It's a Howard 225, it's done 10,000 hours. Say hi Howard. Some folk might just say that's just running. Got a complaint about smoke. black smoke apparently, unburnt diesel. Now, when the customer got this, he got us to go and do a job with it, and it had an unusual engine tone, and I diagnosed an injector wasn't firing, and I got the price of doing the job, sent it over to him, and then he said, oh, it kind of cleared itself. So I've got a suspicion with the injectors, or an injector, a bit like that 140 that I did not too long ago. But I'm just going to check the engine oil level first before I start it, because I don't want to run it up and for it to have anything happen to it. The engine oil's good. I did have a bit of a sniff as well, and it smells okay. Sometimes you can smell a bit of diesel in it, but not today. So I'll fire it up and see what that smoke's like. Oh yeah. I can just immediately feel there it's a bit unbalanced. Bit of a vibration. Yeah. Let's go out here and have a listen. Yeah, can you hear that tap, tap, tap? Okay. If I just rev it. Bit of a black reek as well, so I'll get my laptop on it. He just, from what I gather anyway, just wants the injector diagnosed, and I think he's going to pull it out and send it away cells. So we're just on a diagnosis mission today, I believe. Get the trusty laptop out and we'll start switching some cylinders off. So I've got my laptop connected to the machine, and straight away if I click number 1, that knocking noise disappears. If I reactivate it, it comes back on again. Injector number 1. So you can hear it better outside. Did you hear that? So injector number 1's poorly. Which is the same injector as that 140, so why that is I don't know, because it's at closest to end to the fan, isn't it? I'm sure. Anyway, we'll let him know and see what he wants us to do. I mean, 10,000 hours, I'd be pulling all 6 injectors and sending them away and getting them looked at, but it's up to them. Again, it's up to the customer. You only can do what the customer wants. I've just spoken to the customer about this machine, and he's going to pull that injector out himself and send it away, or pull the whole lot out, I don't know. But anyway, we know it's number 1, that's away on it, and he's going to sort it. So that's that. It's about 3 o'clock now, so by the time I get through to Carlisle, I'll get the van washed down, and that'll be me all set to put my feet up for the weekend. Well, I said that last time. I remember saying it. I'm gonna have a nice steady weekend, just a quiet weekend, and oh, it was a nightmare of a weekend. It was. It was that day that I was blooming topping, and the topper flew to pieces, and then I got that inflatable dinghy and the had no air valves in it. So I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to have a weekend. Hope you all have a good weekend, or are enjoying the weekend by the time you see this, and we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe the video, and that helps the video that I do, or the videos that I do. It encourages YouTube to push them onto other people's suggested videos. And if you don't know, and you didn't know, subscribing to YouTube channels doesn't cost you as a viewer a penny. All it does is it enables you to know when new videos are uploaded. And even if you don't want to know, just set your notifications, turn the notifications off. But it helps me a lot, so if you haven't already, click the subscribe button. Right, thanks for watching, see you in the next one.